sequence. Probably got about 2 minutes to their start now, maybe a little over, 2.5 minutes. And of course now we've got entering, we've got Passé, I believe, and his component, Yellow Boat, which is Jesper Radic, I think. Is that right, Shizzy?
I think the next is Litos and Gilmore. Litos in red and Gilmore in grey is the next start.
Oh, there you go. I'm looking at totally the wrong boats. Yeah, we've got Litos here entering from the port side, pin end of the line, in red.
That's right, and Gilmore in grey. But these guys now turning up. Damiel, Francesco Bruni turning back to the start line. We're into the business end of this pre-start. There we go. That's the wide shot, so we can see the context here now.
I thought Litos there was making his final approach to the pin to enter, but and I was going to say Peter Gilmore's a long way away, but no, got my timing slightly wrong. Yeah. Litos just hanging out at the pin end, ready for his entry.
Okay, we've actually got these guys in the final minute here in the black boat. Francesco Bruni chasing Damien Yell down. It's looking a little windier there now. There's some rocking and rolling going on. Bruni turns up. Goes down for another go, trying to push Yale down towards the late jive from Bruni. Both tack back to starboard. I think we're into final approach here. 1 minute to go. I don't have my own watch running, so okay, 50 seconds. Start. I'll get my gun when these guys start, I think, hopefully.
Yeah, me too. I'm not quite.
So we have 40 seconds now. Craig Mitchell's managed to get the time. Nice effort, Craig. That's what he's here for. Okay, counting down. 35 seconds to go. 29, 30 seconds. So this is final approach now with Francesco Bruni, I think, set up to windward there of Damien Yell.
Yeah, that's right, Mark. I'm just sailing past them now. Bruni to windward and slightly behind, and EL forward. Not sure. It seems to be both going for sort of the middle of the
15
line.
seconds to the start. 15 seconds coming down now. 11, 10, 9, 8. Anyone who wants to start their watch, this is your chance. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, gun. There it is. Okay, so that's the first start of flight 11. Damien Yell in the pink boat, Francesco Bruni in the black boat. Bruni to windward. Yell has the left. The left has been playing the percentage win, and it's the French guys that have been showing some of the non-locals the way. So we will have another entry in 40 seconds, and we will follow these guys up the track until Bruni being forced to tack away there by Yell. Bruni now on port, and it'll be interesting to see whether Yell decides to take a little leverage out to the left if he thinks the left is going to pay, or whether he goes back with him reasonably soon. And if Bruni's nervous about the left, we'll see him tack back pretty quickly to close that leverage, the separation between the two boats down. All right, we have 10 seconds now till the other entry. As I said, we can follow this one up the course a little way and maybe see how this first cross turns out. And we can make a reasonable assumption that the next flight, which is Alexis Litos and Peter Gilmore, will go into a dial-up. No sign of attack. Here it is. Here's Bruni tacks back, so Bruni is nervous about the left. I think we can make that assumption. I don't know if he knows yet. I'm sure he probably does, but Mascalzoni pulled out of the America's Cup this morning. Just released the news, or at least it's just hit the wires. I don't know whether they released it or not, but Bruni will be finding out. And Yell has decided to close it up, coming in from the left, and we'll have our first sense of whether or not it's the left side or the right working here in this first match of this flight. You have any sense of who's going to be ahead here, Hannah?
Oh, it's quite hard. We're right back down beyond the start line now, so I'm quite a long way away from the action. But I have to say, is it EL in pink who's looking pretty nice there? Obviously, he went on the left, and from my point of view here, Mark, it looks like he's going to cross ahead of Bruni. Yeah,
they just come into view out of the window as well, and EL has control at the first cross.
He's going for a lee bow tack there. Yeah,
he'll tack and defend the left. So he's made the gain on the left. He'll defend that side. Pretty understandable. It seems to be the percentage winner is the left-hand side. We can now go back down, I think, to the next pre-start. We have Alexis Litos in red, Peter Gilmore in grey. And they are into the full action in this pre-start area. That's something you should be a little bit easier to see, for you to see, Hannah, down there with Torvar.
Yeah, I'm just by them actually, and Peter Gilmore, I have to say, is in a very, very strong position, really putting some pressure on Litos now. Gilmore the following boat, but they just had a very interesting exchange there, a very, very long way from the committee boat actually in the start line. They've got just 2 minutes left until their start, but Litos has just managed to extend a little bit and get out of the grass for Peter Gilmore for now, but I believe Gilmore will be back on his tail and pushing him to the line. It'd be very interesting to see who breaks off first and returns to the line.
Yeah, Gilmore looking like he's in control of that one at the moment.
1 minute 50 to the start of their race. And I'm aboard with Torvar Mirsky, and these guys are getting ready. In 1 minute 50, they'll have 1 minute until their entry into their pre-start.
I think they're...
Oh, sorry, no, they're
the next one. Yeah, it's Bertrand Passé is next with Jesper Radic is the match 3, and then you're fourth away.
That's right. It's lucky they're not listening to me, isn't it?
No, it's clear that you're not giving them any help there with the timings, Hannah.
Oh, it's just they're so dialed into the situation. I thought they were getting ready for it.
They're always focused, those boys. They're very professional.
They are very professional. They're all looking very, very good in their posh new sail racing uniform. Looking great here, just hiking out.
They need a win, there's no question about that. They're 2-2 right now, and coming into this really as the top-ranked team, with the absence of Mathieu Richard, as we've already mentioned, and world champion Ben Ainsley has gone back to win his 4th Olympic gold medal, or certainly to try. Many people would be putting good money on that happening in Weymouth next year. He's the reigning World Match Racing Tour champion, but right now focused on Olympic gold, and that leaves an opportunity for everybody else who's here this year. And one man who wouldn't mind winning it again is Peter Gilmore, 6-time World and Tour champion, but nothing in the way of medal since 2006.
So we've got Gilmore and Litos just coming up for their final approach to the line. 30 seconds to go. Pretty early, both of them, really trying to kill their speed, so they don't get over the line too early. Gilmore up to windward, closest to the committee boat. Litos down. Both boats really in the middle of the course, which makes me think that the line is pretty square. 12 seconds to go.
All right, they're very close to the committee boat, so Litos has held this up nicely. Gilmore can't come down until Litos lets him, and he has now. They'll both accelerate.
There you go, there's their gun.
Now that one, to me, Litos is certainly the man that turned up first.
Yeah, Gilmore really stuck with nowhere to go on that start line, but Litos has the leeward side, he has the left-hand side. It'll be interesting to see more if Gilmore stays with him, tries to keep his boat speed, but Litos' boat speed looks just a fraction better than Gilmore's at the moment. Yeah,
and Litos obviously struggling a little bit. He's 1-1, which he took his race against Torvar Mirsky. Lost 4, Williams, Robertson, Bruni and Yell, while Peter Gilmore not in better shape, but not a whole lot better shape. He's had wins against Hansen, Morvan and Yell, and lost against Williams, Robertson, Bruni and Jesper Radic and Bertrand Passé. Now that angle, it looks a little better for Gilmore, but Litos is managing to hold there. Defending the left, holding the left. So that's match 2 of flight 11. I don't know if Craig's been keeping an eye on that first match where we saw Damien Yell and Francesco Bruni.
And protected left. He then switched to the right and came into the top mark about a length ahead of Bruni. But Bruni's absolutely hot on his heels. They're in a little bit of a jibing duel down this first run.
All right, these are fantastic conditions in these asymmetrics for the simultaneous jibe move, which is where the guy behind on the tail of the leader matches the jibe of the first boat and rolls right over them. And you can see there that Yell felt he couldn't jibe simultaneously with Bruni. Bruni was in a strong attacking position, and now Bruni's managed to get split jibes. He can get some separation and some leverage. Now he just needs to win the starboard. He's got the inside of the mark if they get down that far, but he has poured each of these engagements all the way down. Okay, so that's the first match in flight 11, Damien Yell and Francesco Bruni, currently being led by Yell, with Bruni trying to jibe on his air to attack. We will try now and have a look. Yep, and that's nice because we can see Alexis Litos and Peter Gilmore. Litos being forced to tack away finally, but has the left-hand side, which was the winning side on the first beat of the last race. And I think the next pre-start they should be in. That's Bertrand Passé and Jesper Radek. So Bertrand Passé in blue, Radek in yellow, and there they are. And I'm just looking at my watch here, and I think it's 2 minutes 20 to this start. Hannah, do you have a view of this one from Torvar's boat?
Yeah, just looking at it now. Got 4 very big chaps standing in my way, but both boats very much head to wind, both in a dial-up situation. I can't really see, all I can see is Passé's boat, so not really sure on this one, Chiz.
Radek was a man with a fantastic win-loss ratio last year, 68%. He only did 4 events. He was in the final of 3 of them. Got beaten twice, I think, if I remember rightly, in Bermuda and Sweden by Ben Ainsley. So he's come back. He got the taste for it again last year. Former tour champion, I think, in 2003. And very much one of the men to watch coming into this regatta and into this year's tour.
Pretty exciting action here, actually, between Radek and the other boat with Bertrand Passé on it, literally just circling each other just behind the start line here. Radek to windward, Passé down to leeward, and Radek in a controlling position at the moment, being sort of windward boat. Yeah,
Passé's been pinned out to this left-hand side. Jesper Radek able to come back at him again and again on starboard and force him into another dial-up. So here we are going into a second dial-up with just over a minute to go. And generally, I have to say, that's a whole world of hurt for the guy on the left-hand side. It's not where you want to be at this stage of the pre-start. But if Passé can get a start at the pin end, he may still come out of this all right if the left is paying. So Radek last night when we talked to him said he thought the left-hand side paid 75% of the time, but not always.
Just had a chat with these guys while you were just talking there, Mark, and their plan is actually to win the windward side. So it definitely looks like there's better breeze out on the right, and looking at the race course, I tend to agree with them, actually.
All right, that's interesting feedback there from the guys on board Torvar Murski's boat. You can just see Hannah in the hatch there. So change of strategy for those guys. They were keen on the left this morning when we talked to them.
I hope no one's got time to send a quick text message to Alvaro Marino and tell him what they're planning.
No, indeed. 10 seconds to go. And Radek now has got the left out of that controlling position. He will start tight to leeward and try and make it very, very difficult for Bertrand Passé to hold there. And Passé didn't do too bad, at least from this angle. It looks like there's a reasonable amount of separation there for Passé. The key thing for him now is to be able to hold in that windward starboard berth and get the game out to the left-hand side.
Yeah, I have to say, looking at Passé's position in that pre-start, I wasn't sure how he was going to get out of that, but he did well and he's won the windward side. Slightly behind Radek, but looking strong on that right-hand side. And we're now getting ready to enter. We've got about 23 seconds until our entry. These guys just gearing up.
Okay, just one final thought here from the Jesper Radek race before we come to you for your pre-start, Hannah, is that we talked to him last night and made the suggestion that perhaps he had too fixed a strategy into the start zone, that he needed to maybe make a late call at 30 seconds on the breeze, and it'll be interesting to see how this one develops, whether he's got it locked into his head that he wants the left and actually now it's the right that's going to pay up this beat. But Craig will be keeping an eye on that one for us as we go into this next pre-start, and we'll come back to that shortly in 3 or 4 minutes after we go to the start with you. Okay, Hannah, so you're with Torvar. There's 3 minutes 40 to go.
On board Torvar. We entered from the port end side. We weren't going to cross Marino, so we've just come into head to wind position, sitting there on the left-hand side of the start line. Marino slightly behind, slightly to windward, just trying to kill our speed. It'll be interesting to see who breaks first. But these guys really concentrating, just backing the jib to port, just to try and slow the boat down. Marino's broken first. He's off now on the port tack. We're braking a little bit slow there to break that, and following him again on a port tack. This guy's working really hard. These boats are very, very light, and they need a lot of rolling and have to be very conscious. Marino back into us now, coming up again, trying to push us up into the dial-up situation. We're both now head to wind again. Marino definitely in control at the moment. He had the starboard entry, so he had the slight advantage from the start.
We saw how that worked for Jesper Radek. For Bertrand Passé in Actually, yes, Bertrand Passet came in from port as well in the last one and was in trouble. But the thing about these boats, I think, Anna, is they're so quick to respond that you, even with 30 seconds to go when you're deep in trouble, if you can get the right move, the right acceleration at the right moment, you can get out of trouble pretty quickly. That was a very consistent theme amongst the guys when we talked to them about the boats before the regatta started.
Really is. And looking at the scoreboard, you can really see the difference between the small boat sailors here and the big boat sailors here. You know, the likes of Damien Neal, very, very good small boat sailor, whereas, say, Williams maybe, and Peter Gilmore, really used to the bigger, heavier boats, slightly slower to respond. So we're now heading downwind, slightly to leeward of Marino, heading down away from the start line, away from the committee boat. He's following. Torvar Mursky is following. Marino just heads up to windward now. Torvar Mursky going to follow.
So 1 minute 45 here. Still plenty of time. It looks like you're still pretty close to the start line. I know this isn't final approach.
1 minute 35 to go. Torvar Mursky really, really keen, as I spoke to him before the race, to win this start, win the windward side, and get out to the right. Oh. Just circling now, just hit a nasty wave there, Mark, and really slowed us down, so it gave Marino a slight advantage there. Marino now coming back up to windward. We're following him round to windward, both boats on port tack. Head to wind now, through onto the starboard tack. Torvar Mursky to leeward, Marino to windward.
Any chance of him getting locked out there?
I don't think so at the moment, but definitely Marino has won the... This is their final approach to the line, I think. We've still got a minute to go. I'm not sure. We've got a lot of time to burn. Marino up to windward. This is it. Torvar Mursky now dropping off, slowing down. Both boats are very, very early, but Marino definitely in control at the moment.
43 seconds, 40 seconds.
I have to say, Mursky's done a particularly good job of now almost converting this, trying to push Marino up to the line.
I think this is the start for...
As we were doing that last approach, Mark, oh, well done, Torvar. We were slightly behind, but we just managed to find some boat speed, and Torvar Mursky now won the start, won the windward side, just what he wanted. 15 seconds to the start, very, very exciting. A little bit too early, tacking onto port, ready, we're going to sail down this line. Brilliant job, exactly what they wanted to do on Mursky's boat.
Okay, so Mursky will get set split tack start, which will give them separated to windward on starboard if they want it. There's the gun there, Mursky on port at the boat, and Alvaro Marino on starboard at the pin. Mursky 2-2, Alvaro Marino overnight was 5-1, and I'm just checking he lost his first race this morning, so currently 5-2. So yeah, going into this one, you'd have to say the form guy was Marino, but Mursky right now looking in pretty good shape if the right comes good as he was expecting. Can you see upwind from there, Hannah? Do you think the right still looks strong?
It does, yeah. I have to say, most of the boats going up the windward side are definitely staying further to the right than they were earlier. Only two boats going up to windward at the moment, and that looks like... I'm just trying to look. Is it Gilmore Racing Moniteurs, the grey and the red boat there, going up to windward? Peter Gilmore going up to on the right-hand side of the course. Very hard to tell. I think it's quite even at the moment. I have to say, it looks like we've got the yellow and blue boat coming down.
Right.
That's Bertrand Passet and Jesper Radek coming down the course on their windward leg. But
and Hannah, I think they're about to finish, so we're just...
I think we've got Damien Neal and Bruni looking like they're just about to finish.
That's
now.
right. I think we can bring you a shot of that, and Craig has been watching that match for us.
Yeah, Damien Neal's just heading down to the finish line there. He's got a nice lead over Francesco Bruni. He basically took it from the start, won the left and protected, and down the run Bruni caught him up, and Eel took Bruni past the leeward mark, jibed back and dropped his spinnaker and led into Mark 2, and then he controlled it from there. So a good solid win for Damien Eel against Francesco Bruni.
And that's the sixth win for Damien Eel, which should see him safely through into the quarterfinals.
Mark, we're just, sorry to interrupt you there, we're just coming up to our first cross now with Marino. Green boat coming across, we're on starboard, we managed to clear him nicely, so that's Torvar Mursky now tacking back off onto port, over to the right hand side of the course, try and defend the right hand side of the course. This is obviously the side he wants. Marino tacks back off to the left, so Torvar definitely in control at the moment.
Yep. and the right paying in this race. So now we saw Jesper Radic go up the course earlier on with the left against Bertrand Passé. I don't think we got a shot of that, but Craig might be able to tell us what's happening there.
Passé came off the line. He was to windward of Radic, and Passé did an awesome job of holding in there until they got pretty much 2/3 of the way up the course. Radic then did manage to tack across Passé. Passé then tacked in line, and they both rounded the mark. But it's very, very close. We got Passé, and he's within 3 or 4 feet of Radic, but Radic's holding the lead there.
So the left worked for Jesper Radic and the right worked for Torvar Murski. It's a tricky race course out here today, but that is the Radic and Passé starting their second lap, their second beat. All right, I think we can return now to Hannah and our featured match, which is Torvar Murski and Alvaro Marino.
Yeah, I have to say Marino, massive gains on the left-hand side in this last bit. We're now coming back for our second cross here, and it looks like Marino in port is actually going to get ahead in front of Torvar Murski. He's going to do a lead-bow tack and defend that left-hand side. Torvar Murski continuing for now just to windward. Very, very close here, but Marino definitely gained on that last little section.
You don't look like you're too far from the starboard tack ley line there, Hannah. How far has Murski got a hold in that position? So obviously he's going to go round in front if he can stay there.
Yeah, no, I think we've probably got another sort of 50 yards to go or so, but right now Murski looking good. I think he's going to try and hold Marino out. Boat speed very evenly matched at the moment. Probably the slight advantage goes to Torvar Murski. Slightly to windward, slightly faster, and even pointing slightly higher. So the guys on the Marino boat really trying to hike out as much as possible.
Okay, Torvar Murski in control of match 4, flight 11. He will take a badly needed point here, and he needs to take it from the guy who was the overnight leader, Alvaro Marino, on 5-1 overnight with Damien Yell.
Torvar Murski now tacking onto ley line. Oh, caught jib.
We will just stay with this one. I think we're about to get a mark rounding here. Are we not, Hannah?
Yeah, we are. We just tacked onto ley line. We're just slightly to leeward, but Marino's behind. We're going to get round the mark first. Murski's going to get round the mark first. We just had a slightly bad tack with the jib sheet caught on something on the mast. Here we are, 5 meters from the mark now, coming into the bear away. Jibs eased, bear away. Marino slots into the back, kite going up. I need to get out of the way slightly. Marino behind us, probably 1.5 boat lengths behind, I'd say at the moment. Kite going up. Will it fill?
So I'd say Marino in position to attack on the simultaneous jibe here.
Kite's filled now on Murski's boat, still going up on Marino's boat. Marino's boat filled.
Key moment here will be the first jibe, I think, Hannah. And you can hear exactly that call there from Murski's boat, I believe, Hannah. That was if we jibed. If they jibe, do we hold?
Or shall we hold?
Yeah, if they jibe, do we hold? I think is the question. And he's saying, are we far enough in front to be able to jibe simultaneously?
You can probably hear better than I do because I've got headphones.
The answer was no. They don't think they can jibe simultaneously with him, which means we're going to get a split here in this race on the first run. Torvar Murski in the lead, but with plenty on to hold it down this run. Now. Okay, we've just got to finish here, Hannah, so we might just come across to that if we can. I think Gilmore and Lito's not sure how far they are from the line, but I don't think it's that far. Yep, here we are, and this is red. Alexis Lito is about to take down another big name. He's already beaten Murski, and he's about to beat Peter Gilmore.
Just going into jibe here, Mark, now. Jibing onto a starboard jibe.
All right, though that's a simultaneous jibe, right? They decided in the end to go together. We'll just get the flag here on this match. I think that's a done deal for sure. We'll come back to you very shortly, Hannah. But Alexis Lito is about to beat Peter Gilmore. That's a big scalp for the French wildcard entry from the yacht club. All right, let's go back to the featured race, and Hannah.
Yep, just had a simultaneous jibe there, both boats jibing onto starboard, sort of halfway down this run here. Very, very, very exciting.
Oh, out of breath there.
Yes.
I'm out of breath. I'm just watching.
I haven't been helping them, I promise. Yeah, so we've got Marino slightly to windward, and probably 2 boats, 1.5 boat lengths separating them. Marino slightly to windward, us slightly, Torvar Murski slightly to leeward. I keep saying us as if I'm part of the team, but I am on board.
I think you're allowed to say us. It certainly helps a little bit with us knowing where you are. If you also say every now and again that remind us that you're with Torvar Murski.
Marino done a really good job of coming down and closing this gap with Torvar Murski there. Really good boat speed down the run, actually. I have to say, I think Torvar Murski's faster upwind, but Marino seems to have the advantage downwind. Jibs going up on both boats.
Okay, so you're coming down to the end of this first run here, Hannah. This is match 4 in flight 11. Torvar Murski on 2-2 overnight. Alvaro Marino on 5-1 overnight. Lost the first match against Bertrand Passé, now 5-2. Needs one more win to really make sure of his place in the quarterfinals. He's got the inside berth here. Still with us after that drop, Hannah?
Yeah, sorry, I got a bit caught up there, but no, okay. Both kites coming down. We've in fact still got a little bit of ours in the water. Both boats ended up a little bit too far on the right hand side of the course, so dropping early and heading up. Torvar just trying to keep Marino out to defend his position. Did a very good job. We're now jibing back towards the mark, and for our second upwind leg, Torvar Murski leads by a boat length and a half, I'd say. Not much change in the lead, in the distance at the mark roundings, but quite a big difference when they came together on the run. Marino did well to keep up, but Torvar Murski just doing a very, very good job of keeping him out of the bottom mark. I know I've just said that, sorry.
So just to, I think from what I saw, Hannah, just to explain that to people watching, was that Torvar managed to keep Marino outside the zone there until he could go back, turn back, and take the inside berth around the mark. Yeah,
Marino had much better boat speed down the run and actually closed the gap, and so Torvar's defending move was to keep sailing as far as possible until he could literally drop his kite, jibe, and sort of reach into the mark and close Marino out, and did a very, very good job. Torvar now has come back to the right, defending the right-hand side of the course. We're actually still on the left-hand side of the course, but we're much further to the right than Marino is, who's probably 40 yards away from us down to leeward at the moment. So Torvar doing a very nice job of keeping his lead. Marino coming back to us now for our first cross of this windward leg. And Torvar Murski definitely has the advantage now. He's done a very, very good job. Marino's going to be crossing behind by about 2 boat lengths now.
All right, so Torvar Murski looking in control of that race. I think we've got one more finish coming out, which is match 3 of flight 11. Perhaps Craig can bring us an update on where we are with that one.
Yeah, we're into match 3. Radek's lead, got a slender lead on Passé, which he's held all around the course. They've just both been goose winging down the run. Passé's now in position to try and roll Radek, but I think there's just not enough runway, and I think Radek's going to take this one pretty comfortably.
All right, Radek in yellow to leeward there, and just about to slide through the finish. And we should see the flag on the committee boat. There's the yellow flag, and Radek was the starboard entry, has the yellow flag on his transom. So that's another result from flight 11. Jesper Radek wins, Alexis Litos won, Damien Yell won, and we have one match left on the course, Hannah, and that's you aboard with Torvar Murski up against Alvaro Marino. Murski looking well in control.
Yeah, Murski just keeping Marino out of this right-hand side section. A couple of problems with their tacking on Murski's boat. Jib sheet just getting caught on, I think something that's on the mast that needs to sort out, but a couple of bad tacks there. Marino's just made a small gain, but still very much Torvar Murski in the strong position right now.
All right, fantastic. Just a quick reminder as they head up towards the windward mark that if you want to join in the conversation, there are plenty of ways you can get in touch. On Twitter, you can follow @WorldMRT or use the hashtag WMRT, and we'll see your message. On Facebook, we are at www.facebook.com/World Match Racing Tour, and the good old-fashioned email address is tv@wmrt.com. Of course, there's also the blog. Click on live blog in the main menu, and Craig's updating that now as I speak. Any messages posted there, we'll try and answer your queries. All right, Torvar Murski well in control of this final match in flight 11 up against Alvaro Marino.
Yeah, Mark, we just sailed out to the right-hand side of the course and we've just tacked onto the ley line to come up to the windward mark for the final time. Coming back to meet Merino, and definitely Mersky still has the advantage. It's closed up a little bit, I have to say, but Merino maybe had a couple of better shifts on that left-hand side, but Torvar Mersky still leading by probably a boat length, I'd say.
You're right, Torvar Mersky's win-loss ratio last year was 60%, that was his strike rate. And Ben Ainsley, the world champion, won it with a win-loss ratio of 59%. So it's not just about winning races, it's about which races you win. And the thing I think about Ainsley is he tends to win the big ones.
So just approaching the buoy, probably 20 metres away now. Starboard ley line, going to go straight into a tack, and then straight around the mark and into a hoist. And
it doesn't look from here, Hannah, as though Merino's really in such a strong position to attack on.
Just rounding the mark, bearing away, kite's going up. Come on, boys, get it up. There it goes. Merino now rounding the mark.
Yeah, the gap is a little bigger. It'll be harder for Merino to attack on this final run, I think. Little twist in the spinnaker there as it goes up. That's going to slow them down too. Ooh, bigger than a little twist. I think that's a medium twist. And it could turn into a full snafu if they're not careful.
Yeah, sorry there, Mark. I just lost you for a couple of seconds there. Just a small jib halyard issue around my microphone. But
there's a bigger jib halyard issue on the boat behind you, Hannah. The big twist on Merino. I think that gap must have extended now. I think we'll see. Yes, that looks like a very comfortable lead now, Hannah.
Yeah, looking back at Merino, I'm just standing in the cockpit here, and we've got a good 4 or 5 boat length lead over Merino now, and definitely in a leading position.
So how's the body language looking there with on Mersky's boys? They're getting pretty relaxed at this stage, are they?
Yeah, I think so. All they've got to do now is just keep themselves between Merino and the finish line, and they'll win this comfortably.
That'll put them on 3-2. Torvar Mersky won the qualifying sessions here last year.
Merino driving onto starboard now, going back over to the left-hand side of the course, and Torvar Mersky now following, just to defend that position, that winning position, leading position that they've got.
All right, I was just about to say there, Hannah, that Torvar Mersky won the qualifying sessions here last year, and then went out in the quarterfinals. So he started a slightly different pattern to his tour this year with a couple of quick losses, followed by 2 victories, and it looks like he's about to add a 3rd.
Yeah, things definitely a little more relaxed on this boat now. The banter started a little bit already, so these guys are pretty comfortable with their position, still keeping their focus. They've still got to keep themselves between Merino and the finish line, but they've got a comfortable lead at the moment. But who knows what can happen out here.
Anything we can repeat there, Hannah, or is it all X-rated banter?
X-rated banter, I'm afraid.
I hope they're not giving you a hard time.
No, not at all. Just amongst themselves. Merino jibing back onto port now and coming back to give us a little slice, but not a chance. He's a long way behind now. A good 5 boat lengths behind now.
All right. Well, the tour director says that if you get any lip from those, you just mention it to him, and he'll clip their ear when they get in.
Okay.
No, he didn't
Thankfully,
really say
I've
that.
got these big headphones on, so I can't hear much about what they're saying. But occasional cheeky grin, which is all good.
All right, Torvar Mersky about to close out match 4 of flight 11 against Portugal's Álvaro Merino. Mersky from Perth, same place as Peter Gilmore, 6 times tour and world champion.
These guys, Torvar Mersky and his team, still working this boat really hard to get every last minute out of the boat. Really trying to play the gusts coming down this final run. Really extended their lead, actually. Jibing back onto a port jibe now. Nice jibe, boys, keeping the kite filled very nicely. Really, really good jibe, and that's their final jibe for the finish now, I imagine.
It's a good looking jibe with the chute all the way across before the mainsail starts moving.
Yeah.
Both
really
the sails
good.
full.
These guys are
the whole time. They are very, very strong, you know, in the dynamic boats. They actually got pinged here last year in the quarters, disqualified for overly using the kinetics. And I think that's either not quite such a good jibe where it's coming down at the same time on Merino's boat. And there it is. There is the win for Torvar Mersky. All right, Rachel and Mike will be getting onto a leaderboard sooner, hopefully fairly soon. And we'll see how they go as soon as they bring that up.
Mark, I might just wander back and try and have a chat with Torvar Mersky while he's here.
Okay, yeah, I think we'll do that first. We'll do the interview with Torvar Murski first, if he's happy to do that, Hannah.
I'll just ask him. Torvar. So you said to me this morning that there are a few cobwebs yesterday. Those cobwebs seem to have been blown away.
Yeah, it was great to get the win for the first race today against Alvaro Mourinho. He had a good record yesterday, so you know, the guys on our team just did a great job, and we felt like we're improving, getting better and better on these boats. So that's a good start for the day.
And a few more matches to come, a few more flights to come today in the qualifying rounds. You obviously need to convert those all into wins in order to, or a lot of them into wins in order to gain your place in the quarters. Your teamwork seems to be really good today. Any thoughts about moving forward? Any thoughts about the race course? Anything that you've learnt this morning that you're going to sort of use later on in the day?
Yeah, we got 6 more races of the round robin, and we need to make the top 8. So that's our goal. The wind is picking up a little bit this morning. It seems to do that during the middle of the day with this sort of a sea breeze effect, and it's just great sailing out here. Beautiful sunshine and flat water and good wind. So we couldn't be happier, and the teamwork's all going well.
Fantastic. Well done, Torvar.
I don't know, Hannah, if you can just ask him quickly what the late call for the change to the right. He wanted the left this morning.
Torvar, we've got one more question from Mark. He said. You said this morning that you'd be hoping to look at going to the left, and then today you came out here in one of the right. What was the difference? What was the change?
There's been we still think there is a little bit of a left shift at the top there, but because there's a bit more wind now, it's when the boats are closer, it's just match racing wise, it's safer to take the right. So we were still working on that and conscious of the left shift, but because of the more wind today, we took the right in the match racing situations.
And it seemed to work.
Yeah, it paid off, and we kept, Mourinho was obviously very close to us, and we managed to fend him off.
Fantastic. Does that answer your question, Mark?
Fantastic, Hannah. Thank you very much indeed. All right, I think you've got to swap boats. You're, oh no, actually someone's with Torvar on the next one, so I think you're good, aren't you?
Shall I hang here with the boys for the next race?
You can hang there with the boys, yep. And I think we'll be putting our cameraman on with Peter Gilmore. So we've got flight 12 coming up. Do we have a leaderboard ready to pop up, guys? We can try and certainly bring you the flight 11 results. Okay, Rachel, so
the results from flight 11 are as follows. Yell defeats Bruni, Litos defeats Gilmore, Radic defeats Passe, and Murski defeats Mourinho.
All right, fantastic. And that brings us with the leaderboard.
The score so far is Yell 6 wins, 2 losses, Passe 5 wins, 2 losses, Mourinho 5 wins, 3 losses, Bruni 5 wins, 3 losses, Robertson 4 wins, 3 losses, Radic 4 wins, 4 losses, Murski 3 wins, 2 losses, Morvan 3 wins, 4 losses, Gilmore 3 wins, 6 losses, Williams 2 wins, 3 losses, Litos 2 wins, 4 losses, and Hansen 0 wins, 6 losses.
All right, that's fantastic. Thank you very much, Rachel. So we'll just have a look down at some of the highlights on that one. Damien Yell, overnight leader, still leading now. He's 1 win and 1 loss. Bertrand Passe moving up the scoreboard onto 5-2, looking very good. He had a bit of a shocker here last year, but he's looking very good so far. Alvaro Mourinho was in much better shape overnight, 5-1. He's taken a couple of hits and is now even with Francesco Bruni, who's also moving up the scoreboard. Another couple of men to watch, I think, is Torvar Murski. Obviously, we just saw him win and go to 3-2. Now, generally 5 is enough to get you through into the quarterfinals. 6 is pretty much a dead cert, so I think we can be confident we'll be seeing more of Damien Yell as we go into the next round, into the quarterfinals. And the guys that are most likely to join him, obviously, Passe, Mourinho and Bruni. Those guys in trouble, clearly Hansen. And Litos and Williams really needs to start winning some races on 2-3 down there, the double world champion. All right, that's the situation. As we go into flight 12, the first match in flight 12 will be Bertrand Passe and Damien Yell. I'm hoping that Craig will be in touch with the race committee and tell us what kind of time we are going to actually get a start. I think, yeah, here he is.
Yeah, we're going into sequence in about 2 seconds, which means we'll be getting on. First start will be at 14:18.
All right, so I don't know if we can get a shot of the committee boat and see some flags going up as well. So we can all set our watches to that one. And there it is. That's nice. I think there's a 7 already up there, so we'll be looking to hold that until we get the 5. And we can all get our watches set, ready for this first pre-start, which is Bertrand Passé and Damien Yell. We'll be hearing I think there's a little over a minute before this, before the 5. Now the key thing is to concentrate on that flag and not let my attention wander and miss this gun, which I was pretty good at doing even when I was a navigator. And there's the 7 down. Next flag will be the 5. So 1 minute to this 5-minute gun. Then another minute to the entry. Bertrand Passé, obviously, this is very much a top of the table and a local clash. 2 Frenchmen. The legend that is Bertrand Passé. I can tell you a little bit about him. He won the match race World Championship in 1994 and won the Tour in 2000. He's been a regular in America's Cup team since the late 80s, since the Fremantle Cup. And I think he was with French Kiss, if I remember rightly. But by his high standards, Passé had a pretty shocking season last year. He dropped out of Bermuda and didn't qualify for the Monsoon Cup and eventually finished 11th on the tour. He's not a tour card holder. His win-loss ratio, his strike rate last year was 42%, so he's already in considerably better shape than that. All right, I think the next thing there it is. There is the 5 minutes, so I hope you all got your guns, your watches set on that start. So Hannah's still hanging out with Torva. Have you got any kind of a view of this pre-start, Hannah?
Yeah, hi Mark. Sorry, we were just discussing muesli bars and boots actually. In fact, Graham here on board has got a very, very fetching pair of boots that he's just put on for the next race, wetsuit boots. So they're his boot of choice. But no, we're quite a long way away from the pre-start at the moment, so I actually can't see a lot. You've probably got a better view from there, Mark.
All right, all right. So long as they pay attention to the special flag they announced for the committee boat this morning, the pink knickers flag, which is the "please don't come too close, boys, because the girls have got some business to do" flag. I certainly haven't seen that one before. We're hoping we'll have that one up on YouTube before too much longer. And there's flight 12. Bertrand Passé, Damien Yell, Alexis Litos, Alvaro Marino in the second match. Then it's Torvar Murski versus Peter Gilmore. So we've got another locals match there. Really, those 2 from Western Australia. The first flight is 2 Frenchmen. The third is 2 Australians. That will be our featured match. Hannah will be on board with Torvar Murski again. And then we have Ian Williams, double world champion, 2007 and 2008, versus Jesper Radic, tour champion in 2003. So some cracking matches coming up in this flight. We're getting down to the business end of this round robin now. There is a desire to finish it today, to be honest with you. There's a very, very bad forecast for Sunday. They're expecting a full Mistral, a full 40-knot smoker, and we will not be match racing if it's like that on Sunday. So if the forecast doesn't change, the idea will be to stay ahead of schedule and to, if we come into Saturday confident that we can't sail on Sunday, we will, I think, get it all done on Saturday. All right, Damien Yell coming in from the right-hand end. Yellow flag on the back of the boat and the pink mainsail. Passé with a matching blue flag for the port entry and the blue mainsail. And at the moment, Damien Yell has all the control. He's keeping Passé pinned out to this left-hand side. If you can control the right, you do. Now the question is whether or not Yell, who's favoured the left pretty strongly, will want to win it again here, or whether he's going to go with the Murski strategy from the last race, which was that the breeze is up now, the course is quite short, and you're better off with the control from the right-hand side. And we saw that play out almost exactly with that Murski beat, in that he got caught coming up there, racing against Alvaro Marino, who had the benefit of the left-hand shift at the top, but it wasn't enough of a left-hand shift to get him all the way around Torvar Murski. In the end, the power of the right won. So that's the balance that these guys will now be discussing on board. Do they go for the right, the controlling position, or do they think the left has got enough of a gain to get the boat that starts to the left all the way around the starboard tacker by the top mark. Certainly fantastic sailing conditions out here now. It's an absolutely beautiful day in Marseille at the Yacht Club Pointe Rouge. We have 1 minute 40 to go, and I don't think it's looking like Yale might want to try and get himself down for this pin, actually. Yeah, he swapped sides. Passé is going to have the right. 1 minute 24. Passé now going to try and push, I think, here. It's difficult to tell the timings from obviously this far back. But Passé not pushing that hard yet. He may be happy with the right, going with the power of the right, and Yale may be the one that wants the left. A minute to go. Passé now starting to get in a position to push quite hard. Okay, here he comes in, looking for the hook, trying to get into leeward of Damien Yale. Pushing hard now. Yale clear, not overlapped. Passé will want to get the race down below this starboard tack ley line for the pin. He's not succeeded in doing it at the moment. Maybe happy just to start to windward here. 30 seconds to go. Passé in blue, Yale in pink. Passé's going to go for the split tack start to the right on port. Damien Yale electing to go with him. Must have been pretty close to the line. 15 seconds. Foreshortening effect of the camera makes that very difficult to judge from our commentary position. Damien Yale tacking away. We will get, I think, a split tack start. 2, 1. There's the gun. Yes. Passé. Damien Yale couldn't chase him all the way back to the committee boat. Passé starts there, tacks to starboard. I think we'd have to give that as a win to Damien Yale. Looks like he wanted the left. He has the left. They will head upwind. I think he won the last race from the left against Francesco Bruni, so looking to put another point on the board. Damien Yale currently on 6, the only man who can be sure he's through. He could relax now, but obviously winning the round robin puts him in very good shape. Sorry, winning the qualifying sessions puts him in very good shape for the quarter-final, which we hope we'll be into tomorrow. All right, so that's Passé and Yale going upwind and starboard. Passé with plenty of separation. Yale will be working hard to get the boat going fast, get himself out in a position where he can come back and put a powerful lee bow or even cross Passé and get out to the right for the controlling position at the top mark. So we should now have into the pre-start the second match of Flight 12, which is Alexis Litos versus Alvaro Marino. This is very much a battle of two ends of the table. Litos with just the 2 wins and the 4 losses. And of course Marino, just looking at Craig's sums here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins and 3 losses for Marino. And here we are. This time the starboard entry is with Alexis Litos. Sorry, Alvaro Marino. Hannah.
Yeah, hi.
You're chortling away there.
I am,
happily.
Sorry. I was just asking them what their plan was, and they're just being very cagey. I had a look as if to say, as if we're going to tell you, love.
But they did last time, Hannah.
I know.
Charms must be waning.
No, they were worried though. No, the plan is still the same. Obviously win the start and try and win the windward side of the course.
All right, so we can expect to see Torvar Mirsky, I think, going for the right here. It's usually a slam, wham, bam kind of match against Peter Gilmore, these two old sparring partners. Gilly beat Mirsky in the final in Portugal last year, an event that Torvar Mirsky had won the year before, so that's a score to settle, but not as big as the score from the Monsoon Cup the year before that in 2009, when Gilmore effectively ended Mirsky's title chances. So we have a match going up the course, Bertrand Passé and Damien Yale, and Craig's just going to have a look at that, see if he can get us an update shortly. And there is the match. Damien Yale in pink, Bertrand Passé in blue. Pretty hard for us to tell from that angle, but I think it looks good for Yale to me. Yep, Yale crossed at the last tack, says Craig. He's obviously forgotten he's got a microphone there. Too late now, mate. Blown it. That's one coffee you owe me. All right, Hannah, Can you see this pre-start with Alexis Litos and Alvaro Marino?
I can. They're just behind us at the moment. We've got red, which is Litos' windward position. Marino just in front. Litos following. Marino leading. Turning back up towards the line now.
Okay, I've got a minute 30, I think, Hannah, left on this start.
Yeah, that's right. Litos looks like he's in quite a good position at the moment, but he was a little far behind, but he's caught up a little bit. Both boats just turning back now. Looks like Litos is really wanting the committee boat end. So, but the chat on the Maersk boat at the moment is that they've changed their mind and they're going to go for the left this time.
All right, it will be interesting to see if they change their mind again before the during the pre-start.
I think they're just trying to catch me out, actually. Keep me on my toes.
Well, they may have realised that you're feeding this information back to the world. All right, there's Litos tacking to port. We have just 50 seconds left in this. We're down into the business end of this one. Maersk hanging out at the pin there, it looks like, or just quite in the way. Litos has the right-hand side. If we just maybe pull out on that shot, give some context, I think, to this picture, so we can see where the committee boat is. Marino forced to tack away.
I did just hear a whistle there, Mark. I don't know if you can see any better than I can.
Okay, we'll get Craig on the umpire radio and just check. I can't see any flags at the moment. I think that is the boat in the frame. No, it looks like that was all clear. 15 seconds now.
Litos really trying to keep that green boat out. Pushing down.
Looks like Marino will get a start at the pin, though. Question is how much he can close that separation to Alexis Litos. Make it uncomfortable for him as they sail away from the line on starboard. Force him to tack away early.
Yeah, I mean, I really think Litos could have pushed Marino out if he had a chance, but he didn't seem to do that. He was quite happy just to have the windward start.
Right, those two clean start. They're off and running. Alexis Litos on the left in red, Alvaro Marino on the right in green. Okay, we can now, I think, just Hannah, go to the first race, the top mark, and just get a little update from there.
You want that from me? Sorry.
No. I think there's the picture now. We got the picture. Sorry, it's okay.
You always talk when we're attacking, and I can't hear you.
So that is the pink boat is Damien leading Bertrand Passé away from the top mark, Craig, I believe.
Yeah, Damien seemed to be quite in control up that beat. Apparently his tiller extension fell off in the pre-start, and whilst he was circling, one of his crew was trying to tie the thing back on again. So it certainly looks as if he's got it back in control, and he's doing a nice job, even if his equipment's falling apart around him.
It certainly doesn't seem to have affected him. What's the process there for? Just explain to us with a damage like that. Once they've started the race, there's nothing they can do about it. They have to live with it, right?
Well, as soon as the 7-minute signal is signalled, then any damage that happens after that is it's just tough luck, really. So you're kind of on your own.
Right. But before the 7-minute, they can put a flag up and.
Yeah, before the 7-minute, they've got a code L flag, which tells the boatman that they've got some damage, and they try and fix it in the time that they've got, and then they carry on with the racing. Okay,
that's great. But in this situation, Damien dealing with the issue of his tiller extension. Certainly look like from where he's sitting there, in pretty good shape. Okay, so we will now go back to the action. And this is, we can see here, 12R Maersk. That's where Hannah is. They are the next start. They're in the pre-start now. What can you tell us, Hannah, about this one?
Well, Maersk entered from the port side once again and did a really nice job of
2:35.
Just had a penalty call from Maersk there, which wasn't awarded by the umpire. Not sure what it was for, didn't quite see, but anyway, Maersk did a really nice job of entering on time. Gilmore was slightly late. Maersk sailed really far downwind and managed to get across in early. Both boats now in this pre-start dance, as Anne agreed to say, and it's good. Maersk looking strong. Peter really trying to push him into a mistake and into an error and try and get a penalty against him, but so far not happening.
Lots of psychology here from Peter Gilmore. He always likes to try and get a psychological edge on his opponents.
Yeah, these two obviously have a lot of history as well. The same part of Australia, and Peter's been probably quite a role model for Mersky over the last few years, so they always have a good old ding-dong, these two.
Gilmore to windward there in the grey mainsail, and Mersky with purple to leeward of him. Both boats on port tack.
1 minute 38. Both boats just sailing along, as you say, Mark, on port tack. Really nice opportunity for me to see if these boat speed is good on both boats. They look pretty evenly matched at the moment. Just going head to wind now.
So a minute, just over a minute 15.
Gilmore breaks left onto a port tack. Mersky breaks right onto a starboard tack.
So Mersky has the right. Any sense from the conversation which side they're preferring, Hannah?
Well, I think Gilmore broke off to go to the line, but these guys reckon he's too early. 40 seconds to the boat, they're saying, 1 minute to start. So Gilmore really early, so Mersky will try and convert this into an advantage for him and push Gilmore either out or over the line. Mersky right hot on his heels now, really realising that Gilmore is too early.
Okay, it's interesting because the amount of time that you can kill is roughly a third of the time that you've got left. So actually 20 seconds to kill with a minute back is not a bad ratio. It's right on the borderline, so this one could go either way in the push back to the line. Has Mersky got the overlap there, Hannah?
No, I'm not quite sure he has, actually. I think it's very, very close, but he's just lost a little bit of boat speed, dropped off to leeward and gone really slow now. Oh, Gilmore looking good, actually.
Yeah.
Mersky just tacking onto port just to try and get some clear air and a start, but this is it, this is the start.
A tiny bit early.
These guys thinking they're early. Gilmore must definitely be early.
Okay, 10 seconds
to go.
Big split tack start. Gilmore at the pin on starboard. Torvar Mersky at the boat on port, immediate tack from Mersky, so both boats on starboard at the gun. And I have to say Gilmore looked in much better shape off the line. We can't tell the bias from here, and as soon as they settle down we'll get some kind of idea from Hannah as to who has the advantage.
I think what happened is when Mersky was trying to push Gilmore up towards the line, they just dropped back a little bit to leeward, lost their boat speed, didn't have control, didn't have any boat speed, so tacked off. We were much closer to the committee boat end than the pin end, so Gilmore had time and space to burn, get down to the pin and start nicely, whereas Mersky got in a little bit of a muddle and ended up having to circle at the committee boat end and then not having a great start.
So if it was all about the timing, Peter Gilmore's was a little better than Torvar Mersky's. And Gilmore, perhaps, these aren't his favourite boats, I think it's fair to say. He prefers the bigger, heavier ones, and in that respect, you'd have to say the advantage lies with Torvar Mersky, in that they're very, very comfortable in these light, twitchy J80s. Very physical in the way that they sail the boats. All right, as those two go up the course on starboard, Hannah will pull us back to that one when we get a cross set up, but we'll just see what Craig can tell us about the other two flights.
In match two, Litos held the right hand side and protected well. He was trading tacks with Mourinho, so great little match going on there. And Litos just rounded the windward mark about 2 lengths ahead.
All right, and I think we can see the other one. Just EL still leading Passé up the second beat. Is that them?
Yeah, that's right. Eel rounded the mark number 2 ahead. They both tacked out to the right, and Eel's just comfortably covering Passé, and he's got about a 4-length lead there.
So that one's going to youth over wisdom and experience, and we'll see whether Torvar Mersky can pull the same trick against Peter Gilmore. But first, I think, do we have some Facebook chat, Rachel?
Yes, we do. On the blog, perhaps a shout out from a relative. El Mersky says, Mersky for the first win of 2011. Whilst at Boats on TV tweets, the old gun Peter Gilmore versus Torvar Mersky, both Aussies, should be a great fight. With at Walker Racing also tweeting, great win against Yale earlier, Coach Jimmy very happy. Couple more off than last 4 against Morvan, Williams, Hansen and Bruni.
Okay, so that's actually an update from Phil Robertson, tweeted out from the water for us. That's fantastic. We'd like to see a few more of the sailors doing that. So those young guys, they're all over that Twitter thing. All right, Hannah. What's happening? What's happened since we left you with Mersky and Gilmore?
Well, Gilmore went out to the left and has just tacked back over towards us onto port tack, coming over the first cross. He was on port, looked like he was going to make it and going to clear us. So Mersky tacked back onto port to try and defend, well, actually onto ley line, I think. Gilmore probably looking slightly better. These guys really trying to stay high to stay on ley, but Gilmore slightly to windward, slightly more comfortable. But if these guys are laying the mark, which they could just, they will get around the mark first.
All right, so this is going to be really tight. I mean, from where we can see here, there's still quite a long while on that ley line to run. It's a good couple of 100 meters, isn't there, I think, Hannah?
Yeah, for sure. And these guys really hiking hard, you know, trying to get every little
that's a great
out of the boat.
comparison, actually, Hannah. We've got a fantastic shot of those two boats there now. And the difference on the hiking on Mirsky's boat versus the hiking on Gilmore's boat is something we need to have a word with the old dude about. He used to get those blokes hiking properly.
Well,
look at that on Mirsky's boat, flat out.
You were saying the difference between these guys. You know, Peter's a little bit older, he's a little bit bigger. These guys are young. You know, the youngest guy is just 21. Torvald himself is just 23, I think. And, you know, really at the peak of their physical fitness, trying to squeeze everything out. But I have to say, it's not looking that great for them. I'm not going to quite sure they're going to lay this. But Peter looking comfortable, just slightly 3 boat lengths up to windward.
All right, age and wisdom doing it over youth and fitness right now on this final ley line, this Portec approach to the top mark. There is the top mark on the left-hand side. We'll just hold this shot as they approach. This is the key moment. Just on the frame there, the orange mark. That's a great shot. Fantastic backdrop to this racing in Marseille.
Yeah, Mirsky just having a nice little puff there as they approach the mark. Everyone's saying that at the top of the course there's a bit of a left shift, and it hasn't been quite as big a left shift as they want. Gilmore's going to get there first. Torvald's either going to have to squeeze around or two very quick tacks. Not sure what they're going to do.
All right, so Mirsky not quite getting the ley line right there, despite a fantastic effort on the physical side. It's a double tack as well, or a little squeeze round. So that will give an edge to Peter Gilmore onto the first run. So this is the Western Australia National Championships right now. Torvald Mirsky sets off in pursuit of Peter Gilmore. It's match 3 of flight 12. We've had one more that started since then. I think Ian Williams is up against Jesper Radek, and that again is a crucial match. Both those guys desperately in need of points. We'll see if we can get Craig to have a look out the window and see if he can find those guys for us. And I think we also have a finish as well, so a little bit of action here. So we'll let that featured match settle here down this run. Big jibe coming up from Mirsky, and Gilmore is going to let him go. Oh, not such a little bit. Hannah, I don't know if you can hear me. There's obviously quite a bit going on your boat, but there is that looked nowhere near as tidy as the jibes you saw earlier.
No, it wasn't, but I have to say their hoist was much better than Gilmore's, and so the small disadvantage they had going round the mark behind them because they didn't quite lay was probably mostly made up by a far better hoist.
All right, so we're just going to have a quick look at the finish here. I think we've got the end of the first flight, which is Bertrand Passé in blue mainsail being beaten by Damien Yell. Just across the line there, Spinnaker down first. A great win for Damien Yell. He goes to 7 wins and is in fantastic form at Match Race France on his home territory. All right, we'll try and come back now to the featured race with Hannah on Mirsky's boat, which is in the foreground there on the right with the purple mainsail. There's a split jibe. Peter Gilmore let them go and then followed. How does it look from where you're sitting, Hannah?
Yeah, well, both boats coming down on starboard now. Mirsky quite a long way further extended forward than Peter Gilmore. And I have to say it's probably looking pretty even at the moment. If anything, I'd back Mirsky to have gained a little bit more on Gilmore, but we've just jibed back into port and we're going to come in. We'll see where we stand against Gilmore. It'll be very interesting to see Gilmore on starboard. But we're looking good on port, I have to say.
They've settled down much better there. That second jibe, the one that we just saw, was much tidier than the one at the top of the mark. I think we have another race we can go to, just for a quick catch-up. This is Alexis Litos and Alvaro Marino, and it's looking to me as though Litos is ahead, but Craig will give us an update on that, hopefully.
Yeah. Litos has been in control of this one pretty much all the way round. They've been trading tacks upwind and trading jibes downwind, and Lito rounded the mark number 2 just ahead. But Marino's not rolling over. He's definitely putting up a pretty good fight. So I expect the last one should be pretty close.
All right, We'll leave that one, come back to our featured match again. Great updates there from Craig. We're with Hannah aboard Torvar Mirsky, and by the sounds of it, it's all about to happen at the leeward mark.
Yeah, we've got a kite coming down on Mirsky scope. Peter Gilmore rounding the mark now. Pretty sloppy kite drop, I have to say, from Gilmore. Most of his kite's still in the water at the moment. Torvar Mirsky, much better kite drop, rounding just behind Gilmore. The separation must be only a metre now. Mark has just disappeared under the jib as we tack off onto port and over to the right-hand side of the course. But Mirsky definitely closed that gap on Gilmore there.
Yeah, and Gilmore's still wearing his spinnaker out the front there. They're not allowed to have that spinnaker out. That pole extended upwind, so there'll be some pressure to get it back inside the boat. Lots of chat about that at the briefing before the racing started. Obviously, it extends the length of the boat in terms of overlaps and so on if you've got the spinnaker pole out, so it's a crucial tactical weapon, but the rules also forbid you from using it in that fashion by insisting that it's put away promptly. Gilly a little slow, Peter Gilmore a little slow. The grey boat on the right of the picture. Torvar Mirsky has got separation, he's got the right, so he should have control, so long as he can hold it this time when they come back together on starboard. Okay, we think we've got a quick update from Williams and Raddick here, Hannah. We're just going to go to that race, and I'll see if Craig can tell us what's happening with these two.
You can probably hear these guys just shouting at the umpires now, telling them about their spinnaker pole, trying to have a go at them. So I kept very quiet, so they figured that out for themselves. But you go back to your featured race, and I'll keep an eye on this.
We've got a cross coming up here. In black is Ian Williams. Jesper Raddick tacks into leeward. And I think Williams is going to be able to hold that very nicely. I think Williams has control here.
Yeah, Williams has been doing quite a nice job. Came off the line, took the left, has crossed over to the right, and is now just edging out ahead of Williams. There he goes, he's just putting his final tack in around the mark. But I think Raddick's in striking distance there, so certainly expect a close one down here, down the run.
All right, we'll come back to the featured match with Hannah and find out how Torvar Mirsky and Peter Gilmore are getting on. Thanks very much for the update, Craig.
Yeah, Mirsky has really decided to stay on the right-hand side, and I mean Gilmore's gone a long way left, really banged that left-hand corner, and has almost tacked onto lay. I think now you probably can see better than I can, but massive separations between these two boats. These guys just about to tack onto the starboard lay line, so they'll be approaching on starboard. It'll be interesting to see who has the advantage. I have to say, at the moment, it looks like Mirsky and the boat I'm in is closer to the windward mark than Gilmore is, but I wouldn't like to say at this stage.
Peter Gilmore is a man who likes to back his judgment. If he thinks it's better on the left, he's more than happy to hang it all the way out there. Oh my God, and he has gone a long way out there, you know. It was literally one tack and in. One tack, Peter. Used to be a guy called Two Tack Tony. He was a fireball sailor back in the day, but I'm sure you're far too young to remember him. Yeah, well, I feel quite old on this boat actually with Torvar Mirsky and his very young crew, but there we go. All right, so this is going to be a big cross here for the West Australian titles. Mirsky coming in from the right in purple, Peter Gilmore coming in from the left in grey. And I think we can just go to Litos and Marino. These guys must be getting close. Hannah, bring us back to that race when we get near the cross. And we'll just have a quick look at this one. So, yep, in the red boat, Alexis Litos. And in the green boat, Alvaro Marino.
Yeah, it's not looking quite as close as it was. I think Litos just managed to just get around that top mark for the last time and just extend his lead, and has now got a nice comfortable one down to the finish. So it's really looking out on the committee boat for the blue flag, and that'll be it. Another winner for Litos to take him up to 3 points. All right, so that is Alexis Litos taking another scalp. Alvaro Marino is the form guy overnight, not looking quite so cool now with his third loss of the morning. We're going to go back to the featured race and this big cross at the top here. Yeah, and Gilmore has got the cross. He did a very good job of banging the left-hand side of the corner. He almost nailed that lay line, but just had to put in a very quick tack between at the windward mark. He's now going around the windward mark, kite going up. We're approaching on the starboard tack, just tacked onto port, bearing away. Standard bear away set for these guys. I expect they'll want to jibe early, try and get some separation before Gilmore
Just have to wait and see if Gilmore follows.
I think if Gilly had nailed that lay line and been a half length further to win, would have gone straight round, then he'd have been long gone. But as it is, you guys on board, you're aboard there with Torvar Muskie, you're still right in this, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we're right on Gilmore right now. Not much separating them, maybe
a
boat length and a half.
All right, there's a big jibe coming up there. Hannah, you stay with that one for us. We're just going to have a quick look at the other crucial match in this flight, which is Ian Williams and Jesper Radek. And there it is, and it looks like they're beating back to the leeward mark. Is that right, Craig?
Yeah, Jesper Radek got himself into a great rolling position, but Williams was defending really well. So Williams held him on past the mark, in control, and classic manoeuvre there by Williams. Held him past the leeward mark, dropped his spinnaker, and turned in his own time. He's now going to round the mark in a comfortable rounding, but Jesper's really hot on his heels there.
Yeah, it's very much attacking position for Jesper Radek with 1 lap to go with these two. And we saw Torvar Muskie pull that move earlier on in the race, the featured race beforehand against Alvaro Marino at the end of his first lap in that match 4 of flight 11. But we're now on flight 12, and we're going to go back, I think, to Torvar Muskie and Peter Gilmore, who are on their final run. And Hannah, what can you tell us?
Well, Torvar Muskie followed Gilmore right behind him, right on his tail for about 100 metres, and then jibed onto starboard. Gillies followed, and some separation. There's some discussion on the boat about what their plans are, but I shall keep you posted.
All right, I think we're going to follow this one down to the finish now, Hannah, until you get a result out of this one, and then we'll come back and see how it's going with Williams and Radek at the end of that.
Yeah, Muskie done a really good job of jibing off early and now sailing really deep, but keeping their speed nice, just closing the gap between Gilmore now. So done a really nice job. Gilmore just to leeward now and slightly ahead, so they're going to be sailing into Torvar Muskie's wind now.
Certainly looks like you're making gains from where we are, Hannah.
Yeah, no, really, really good, I have to say.
All right, are we going to see
These
the big
guys are coming
luff
up
here?
now.
Yeah.
Trying to get some speed. This is going to be an exciting finish, guys. Just trying to close that gap and try and inch ahead. Again, coming really, really deep, and then keep coming up just to try and extend that gap and get over and ahead and in front ultimately.
They've got to get all the way around the bow though, haven't they, Hannah, to get back to the line.
Gilmore
has starboard, he has starboard right. So there's the leeward mark, so the finish can't be far away.
No, it's not. I mean, probably 150 metres, I'd say.
All right.
I mean, I'm a girl, I'm not very good at lengths, but they're doing a good job.
There is an obvious rejoinder to that, Hannah, but I'm not going to make it at this moment of high drama.
Gilmore's still got an overlap. They're going jib up. Mercy's going jib up now. Jib's going up. Gilmore's going down, going for the jibe. Both boats going up. And it's going to be a reach into the finish. Oh, it's going to be a crash. Gilmore had a real big problem.
Flag from Mursky. He thinks that he could laugh after the jibe, I think.
Oh, it's a green flag.
It's a green flag, so the umpires don't think there was a problem there, and Gilmore will cross first.
Torvar Mursky, I think, thinking that Gilmore wasn't sailing his proper course to the end of the race, but...
All right, Hannah, we'll come to you when they've all settled down. Yeah. Have we seen the flag? Have they finished?
Yeah, they've finished.
Okay, so it's a win for Peter Gilmore, so we'll just come to Craig on that incident at the end there, if we can.
Gilmore was trying to hold Mursky outside the pin mark there, and then they both jibed, and obviously Torvar thought that he was either must have thought he was entitled to room, so he wanted to try and force the issue, but the umpire saw that there was no incident. So
good call from the umpires. Put you on the spot, tour director.
I think it was a
good call. I think it was fair enough too. All right, so Peter Gilmore takes the result from Torvar Mursky, and we'll get some leaderboard and results once this final flight is done. But right now, I think we're going to cross quickly to. If we can go to probably Williams and Radek first, I think that we'll just check in with those guys, and then we will try and bring you a Torvar Mursky interview. And yes, here we go. This is the final match on the course, another big one. Two of the top seeds up against each other, both in the dodo, deep with problems and not enough wins on the board. And I think Williams has control on the right-hand side as they approach the top mark for the second time. We'll just Yep, Williams is going to be able to tack in again. The lead bow there. They've probably got 100 metres to go to the top mark. They had a shot to the right. Okay, there's the top mark. So you can see again that I think this next one will be interesting, because I've got a sense that Radek seems to be gaining from the left here. It doesn't really look like it in that picture. So I don't know if we have Hannah in a position to interview Torvar yet, but we'll come back to her and him as soon as we can.
Yeah, I'm right here. I'm sitting quite close to Torvar, hoping that he might have a few words for me. Torvar, are you happy to have a chat? So you want to just talk me through that race then?
Yeah, we went for the plan of attack that we wanted. We thought the boat end was biased, but after we started, Gilly had an advantage off the pin, and we wanted the left again. But with the advantage Gilly had, he was able to hold that out to the left side and cross in front of us, which was, we were really close to him to the top mark, and both downwinds were right on his tail, and Gilly did a good job of keeping us away, which is good match racing by him, and he's very experienced at doing that.
And that little incident at the end, just talk me through that.
I mean, that was a desperate attack, really. Gilly had us in a good position, and we just, for us to be able to even get that close there was pretty cool. But Gilly did a good job and kept the lead.
Okay, and you felt that the umpire's decision was fair, did you?
Yeah, I would have been. I think so, yeah.
Okay, well done, Torvar. Thanks very much.
All right, thank you very much indeed, Hannah. Great interview with Torvar, and we'll go straight back to this key match. And Williams just sneaked around the top mark first, I believe, Craig.
Yeah, it's been pretty tight between Williams and Radek all the way up the beats. Williams has been protecting the right, and Radek was hot on Williams' heels there. And he's now managed to just round inside, and they're just going there for a simultaneous jibe. So Radek getting himself into a nice position to be able to pull the roll. Williams will be defending hard on this one, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, confident move from Williams. He wasn't far ahead to try and do that side-mode jibe with Radek. We've seen other guys split away when there's been that little separation.
Yeah, here we go, and Williams has decided that's it. He's going to start arcing it up, going for the big luff, and I think Radek's going to get into a great position to roll, and yeah, he's advancing forward really, really quickly there.
Yeah, I did think that was a slightly punchy jibe from Ian Williams. That wasn't a strong position to try and go with Radek.
Yeah, there's a long way out on this starboard ley line. So I think Williams could be in trouble here unless he can really just hang on and stay in there to leeward and just keep that overlap going, so that Williams can take him past the ley line when they get down there. So
we're seeing a repeat of the race that we've just seen, really, aren't we? Where with Mirsky making gains, but not enough gains to get right around the front of the boat to leeward that has the right to hold him out past the finish if he gets the positioning right. Yeah,
I mean, Radek certainly was a little bit closer and got that roll and just jumped forwards a little bit, and looks like they're pretty close to breaking the overlap. We'll try and tune into the umpire channel to see what they're saying, and then and bring you some more news.
All right, we'll let you work on that for us, Craig. That's fantastic. And we've got Radek coming down here in yellow, Williams in black. Ian Williams returning to the lists. His overnight scores were not strong. He really needs to win this one. He's only got 2 on the board so far with 3 losses. And Radek in even worse shape with, or was in worse shape this morning, but he's taken a couple of victories so far today. So this is pretty crucial.
So we've had a clear call from the umpires. So that means that and they're clear and overlap. So it's going to get pretty close here. There's going to be some Y flags flying pretty soon when Radek thinks he's on the ley line to the finish line there. It'll be quite an interesting development.
Yeah, jib's going up, so it's not good on the...
And there goes Williams. He's just decided to jibe off, and now they're deciding, and Radek jibes as well. So let's see if they're
jibe back to starboard, trying to catch him out here.
From my point of view out here on the water, it looks like Radek's going to get there first. It's hard to know at the moment. Williams is jibing back onto port. Not a great jibe there.
Does look like a full pass, and that I think is a yellow flag on the committee boat. Yes, indeed. Jesper Radek gets it. So a big win for Jesper Radek, and a very crucial, what could be a very crucial defeat for Ian Williams, who is now that's his first race back on the water. And I think he, as I said, he only had the 2 wins and the 3 losses. He goes to 2-4. And Radek now in much better shape with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins and the 3 losses. Wow, lots of action. So we will get a leaderboard and some official results up on the chart for you as soon as we can.
Mark, I'd just like to ask you a quick on-air production question now. Next race, would you like me to stay with Torvar Mirsky for a 3rd race, or would you like me to swap boats and go on with Ian Williams?
I don't think we want to show that much favouritism to Torvar Mirsky. I think if we can get you swapped in time, Hannah, then that would be a great idea for you to give us the onboard scoop from Ian Williams in this next match. He's going to be a man under pressure in flight 13.
I might be a bit scared to go on with it.
I'm sure you'll be fine. We'll leave you to try and make that swap.
No worries.
And we'll hear from you once we get a bit closer to the action. So there are the results from flight 12. Rachel.
So the results from flight 12 are as follows. Yale defeats Passe. Litos defeats Marino. Gilmore defeats Mirsky. And Radek defeats Williams.
All right, fantastic. Thank you very much for that. That's the flight 12 results. And there's the leaderboard, Rachel.
So the results after 12 flights. Yale 7 wins, 2 losses. Passe and Bruni on 5 wins, 3 losses. Marino and Radek on 5 wins, 4 losses. Robertson on 4 wins and 3 losses. Gilmore 4 wins, 6 losses. Mirsky on 3 wins and 3 losses, and Morvan and Litos on 3 wins and 4 losses, with Williams at 2 wins, 4 losses, and Hansen at 0 wins and 6 losses.
So the pressure clearly on Ian Williams to win this next race. Upcoming, it'll be our featured match in flight 13. He's just 2 wins for 6 races, and that leaves him just 5 to go, and he needs to win a whole bunch of them. He needs to get to 5 at least to stand a chance of going through the quarterfinals. In real good shape is Damien Yell, already through the quarters. Passe, Bruni, Marino and Radek just need 1 more to really book their place in the next round. And Robertson, Gilmore and Mirsky and Morvan and Litos battling out for those final slots in the top 8. All right, that is flight 12. Now, Rachel, I believe we might have some Twitter action.
Yep, on Twitter, at Boats on TV tweets, Gilly, you legend. What a great finish. The story of the old bull and the young bull. Congratulations to Peter Gilmore, winner. And on the blog, Matt asks, can you explain the difference between a tack and a jibe?
Ah, tack and a jibe. Okay, that's a suicide pass you just handed me there. A tack and a jibe. All right, well, a tack is when the bow of the boat turns through the eye of the wind. So if you face into the wind, you're looking into the eye of the wind, and when the boat tacks, it goes through the wind that way. So the boat, if you're facing forward on the boat, the wind will be blowing on your face as you go through the tack, and the jibe is the opposite, so that the stern of the boat passes through the eye of the wind. So the wind would, if you were facing forwards again, the wind would be on your back as the boat passed through the eye of the wind. That's the difference between a tack and a jibe. The latter, the jibe, is a little more violent than the other because the mainsail is all the way out downwind on the run, and it has to cross a lot further, so it's generally a more dangerous maneuver. All right, thank you very much, Rachel, for the Twitter and Facebook updates. We are back out on the water, and at some point we will hopefully get an update from Craig, and this will be the flight that we're following, and find out when the start sequence is. He's all over that as I speak, so I'll show you flight 13 here. Peter Gilmore up against Marino. Ian Williams will be racing Mirsky. That's our featured race. We've got Hannah. We will have, hopefully, Hannah aboard with Ian Williams.
I am aboard now, Mark.
She's on board now. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Hannah. And Alexis Litos from France will be racing Jesper Radek. And Bjorn Hansen from Sweden returns to the fray, already with 6 defeats and a really terrible start to his tour. In contrast to Bertrand Passe, who's had a fantastic opening salvo here at Match Race France. I think I remember Bjorn Hansen having a shocking start to last year's tour as well in Germany. I'm not sure he won a single match, but then he came back and reached either the quarters or the semi-finals. I think actually semi-finals. He went out in the semi-finals to Ian Williams in Korea and picked up plenty of cash. So perhaps this is actually a good omen for Hansen. We'll see. All right, flight 13. I think Craig may well have got an update for us on the schedule.
Yeah, we're rolling pretty fast here. We've got 15 seconds to go till flight 13. Everybody's revved up, so we're going straight into it.
All right, so this is going to be the 7, Craig, we're about to see.
Yep, just coming up there in 3, 2, 1. There we go.
Okay.
And we'll be straight into sequence.
So I've got my watch set, unfortunately, for...
Yeah, there's the 7-minute flag on the committee boat.
All right, that's great. So we'll stay with a picture at or like that one for a while, just so we can all start our watches when that 5-minute goes up. And it's going to be in just under 2 minutes' time. So this will be, as I said, flight 13. Peter Gilmore, another man who needs a win. Just looking across here at where Craig's done his sums for us, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5 for Gilly. Is that right? He didn't make the quarterfinals last year. Not a good opening to his tour, which didn't get a lot better as the year went on, to be honest with you. I'm just looking for Peter Gilmore's win ratio last year. It was 54%. Now contrast that in 2010 to his win ratio in 2006, when he was at 68%, and completely dominated the tour. It was a three-peat. It was his 3rd tour on the trot. He's 6 times world and tour champion, and but really not recovered that form ever since. And I think that 54% last year is indicative of the improvement in performance that Peter Gilmore needs to find to get himself back on the podium this year. There we have the stats for Peter Gilmore, Yamaha Racing Team. And he's up against Alvaro Marino. All right, we're back on the committee boat. The 7 is down, which means we're inside the 6-minute, which means we don't have long to this next gun. So we'll hold this shot. And if you want to start your stopwatch with us and get this 5-minute gun, now is the moment to get ready for it. And you can be sure that everyone in the control room is doing it. I'm sure Hannah's got her watch ready to go on Ian Williams' boat. They are second start, so they will be straight into it after this one.
Yeah, I absolutely have. Here it goes. The lady's got her arms up.
There it is.
And that's it. There you go.
Fantastic. 5 minutes. All right, 1 minute to entry. We will try and pick up Peter Gilmore and Alvaro Marino as they enter the pre-start arena. Peter Gilmore coming in from port with the blue flag. Alvaro Marino with the yellow flag and the stronger starboard entry. So Gilly on the back foot. On the in entry terms, we've seen the starboard boat dominate these pre-starts, quite often holding the port tack guy out to the left-hand side. The right-hand side is the controlling side. When the boats come back together, the guy on starboard tack with the wind blowing over the right-hand side of the boat has control. The power of the right, we call it in match racing. And it starts right from the entry. Now the question is whether or not the port tack boat can wriggle out of that control. Ready for the 4-minute here. This flag's coming down in 3, 2, 1. Now, there it is, 4 minutes. So we have an entry. And coming into frame very, very soon will be the green sail of Alvaro Marino on the right. And looking like a pretty decent entry. Yep, we're going to get a conventional dial-up from Peter Gilmore in grey. So Hannah, do you have a decent shot there? I think we're just seeing you sail out to the left-hand side of the start box.
Yeah, we're just out on the right-hand side, past the committee boat at the moment. We can just see Marino and whoever he's racing. I can't see from here at the moment. Gilmore just head to wind at the moment, just behind the start line, and these guys really trying to get into the zone. I'm on board with Williams, and against Mirsky in this next race will be a tough one, but one they so really desperately need to win.
That's absolutely right. 2 of the top seeds struggling. Mirsky as well in a little bit of trouble too after losing their next race. So coming here, Mirsky, Williams, Radek, they were all names we expected to see at the top of the board at the end of the event. It may well still be the case, of course. You've just got to get through. Once it's in the quarterfinals, it's a whole new game, as any of the sailors will tell you. Once you get into that section, the key thing is to get out of the qualifying stages. It's nice to have a good position, like a pole position of Formula 1 race. The further up the leaderboard you are, the better your options going into the quarterfinal, but it's even more important still to make it through to the quarterfinals in the first place. So another circle here from Alvaro Merino, the green boat. Sailing out to the right-hand side of the line. We have just over 2 minutes to go in this pre-start. Opportunity for me to take a sip of water. I hope you're keeping hydrated out there, Hannah.
Well, I tried to get on board with Mersky earlier with a bottle of water, and he wanted me to leave it behind. He was worried it was going to slow him down. So I did Shane, on our cameraman on the rib, to give me a sip of water before. But obviously not many facilities out here for us girls, so I don't want to drink too much.
Well, there's no pink knickers you can hoist on that boat either to give yourself a comfort break, Hannah.
No, and I think that's quite enough of that conversation. You can see Merino and Gilmore still head to wind there. Merino just to the right-hand side, dipping down behind Gilmore. Not quite got the overlap to go behind him. So coming up to windward.
And we've got an
Merino,
interesting...
Yeah, there you go. You can talk about it, Mark.
Yeah, we've got a minute 10. And just we'll come to an interesting question off the blog just after this final minute. Rachel's all ready to go, but we don't want to break away from this in the final minute of this pre-start.
I think Merino just put up his protest flag there, and it was green flagged actually.
You know, coming back to Gilly on port is looking pretty slow. I hope you're watching this one, Craig. We might need
another protest flag going up, and another green flag from the umpire.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Gilly looked pretty slow and cold and toast to me, but he's got away with it.
I think Merino's pretty arced up after this. Feisty little Portuguese man.
He just needs one more win. He just needs one more win. He's in the quarterfinals. Should be a fantastic result for him with 17% win-loss ratio last year. Chasing Gilmore down now.
25 seconds.
Can get a good start even very, very late in these boats because they are so quick and twitchy. Gilmore turns up. Merino turns up inside him.
10 seconds.
Merino will tack away and looks like he'll get a good start. It's hard to tell whether Gilly's above or below the ley line for that black mark there.
He's below.
Okay, there it is, the late tack. So we're going to get a very early cross as Merino goes back. They have started.
Gilly was close but not quite making it, so a little leave-out tack there. Merino tacks straight away back onto port.
26.
So Merino forced away, has the right-hand side, and the question is whether or not the left will pay enough for Gilly to get round him. All right, well, just as they head up the course there, we will have another entry shortly, but we'll just break away for a moment to get an update from the blog. Hannah, I don't know if this is one you can answer this question for us. So you've been with Mersky for a while.
Yeah.
Rachel, how does it sound?
On the blog, Sharon asks, does Kinley Fowler from the Wave Muscat Sailing Team have a girlfriend?
There you go. The key information on WMRT.
And I can't even answer it because I didn't hear it.
Oh, okay. You didn't hear it. All right. I'll repeat it for you. Does Kinley Fowler from the Wave Muscat Sailing Team have a girlfriend?
Do you know what? I don't know. I couldn't answer that question.
We should have got that question to you while you were still on board.
Sorry.
Too late now. But
Sorry.
Sharon, you blew it. You blew it. You waited till Hannah was off the boat.
I don't know if he has a girlfriend. I'm sure he's got a fan club.
All right. Well, we're still holding on. Peter Gilmore and Alvaro Merino. Crucial match for Peter Gilmore. Needs to put a few more points on the board to go through. And we will go back now to the next pre-start. Ian Williams versus Torvar Mersky. Hannah, that's you, and you are into the dial-up with Ian Williams.
Yeah, just in the dial-up. I'm on board with Ian Williams. Got Mark Williams, Ian's brother, up on the bow, backing the jib, just trying to keep the boat straight, trying not to break out of this dial-up position. Ian, just to the left and slightly ahead. Probably slightly more extended than he would have wanted to be. Mersky on the right-hand side, obviously have that starboard entry, slight advantage for him.
Yes, generally the right-hand boat wants to be bow level and separated to windward, and bow back and separated to windward. And enough separation to get onto starboard as he has done there.
Here we go, and Mersky's broken out onto a starboard tack, chasing down Williams. Williams also on a starboard tack now. Mersky chasing in hot pursuit of Ian Williams.
Oh, this is not looking good for Ian Williams at the moment, but as we've said, it's possible to get a good start even very, very late on in these boats. sometimes if you get the lock on a big, heavy boat, if you get the lock on early, you can hold it all the way to the pre-start. But right now, if this was in a big, heavy boat, Ian Williams would be in deep, deep trouble. But as it is, a little acceleration, these twitchy little J80s, he may well be able to wriggle out of this. He's still got 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes to go.
Williams just tacking onto port, slightly ahead, slightly to windward. Mersky slightly behind, also tacking onto port.
Can Mersky hold him up to windward there? Or is Williams will be looking to try and get the acceleration to just slip around the bow and get back into the pre-start area, into the safety of the right?
He's definitely too early for the line. We've still got 1 minute 40, so I think he's going to have enough room just to dip down. Looks like he's even going to go in front of the committee boat there. Try and use the committee boat to get some separation between him and Mersky. But Mersky just... No, Mersky's going to go back behind.
Yeah,
Ian dips down. Back.
Okay, so nice move from Williams there. He's got himself safe again.
30.
Did a good job using the committee boat. Quite hard to chase.
32.
You can hear there Mark Williams just calling time to line.
35.
They're in seconds, 35 seconds to line, they're saying.
With a minute to go, that's a lot of time to burn as they turn back up. So
30 seconds to pin, they're saying.
Williams obviously anxious to burn a bit more of that time to keep the bow down and not go back up yet, because otherwise Mersky can push him hard. 45 seconds to go.
Williams early here.
Still way too much time to burn. Yeah, I'd agree with that from the calls coming off Williams' boat.
15 burn. 15 burn.
Mersky right on
15
his
to
tail.
burn.
Lots
30
of
seconds to go.
shouting going on.
Still a 50% burn number. That's a lot of time to burn. It needs to be down near a third before you have a chance of leading back safely.
Head to win now.
20 seconds to go. Getting very close to the line. Williams all close to falling onto port. Plenty of verbal there, Hannah.
It's a green flag.
Oh, green flag after all that action. All right, so Mersky will get a clean start at the boat on port. Williams on starboard at the pin. Mersky tacks to windward. Clean start for both boats. Mersky plenty of separation. Has the right-hand side. I think he'll be pretty happy with that. Any sense of from the chat what Williams actually wanted going into that start, Hannah, or was he always coming in from the port on the defensive?
Pretty cagey, but definitely their chat was the left-hand side. That's definitely the side they've been wanting all morning, and it's the side they've got now. I mean, Williams did a particularly good job of trying to wriggle out of that situation. It was looking close for a moment. It was even looking like he was going to be shut out at the pin end, but managed to just squeeze around there. A couple of seconds late for the line, but Mersky was too after having to tack off to the right. So I think it was a pretty even split start there.
All right, so that one is settled down for a little bit. We're sure there'll be some more action before the top mark, but we've got one race already on the course with Peter Gilmore and Alvaro Marino. And
Williams just tacking back. Sorry, Mark. Sorry to
okay.
interrupt. We're just tacking back onto port, coming up for our first cross.
All right,
and
we'll stay with
Mersky
this.
definitely has the advantage here. Mersky clearing. Oh,
Yeah, Mersky looked in good shape off the line.
there you go. Mersky tacking just in front of us, but would have cleared on starboard.
Okay, so
Williams tacking back onto starboard now.
Mersky defending the right. He liked the right earlier on, as we heard from him in your interview with him, so still happy to hold the right there.
Yeah, these guys both pretty arced up today.
Okay, we will try and just go quickly to the other match on the course, Gilmore and Alvaro Marino.
Yeah, Gilmore's just been holding a slight lead over Mourinho. He got to the right, to the top of the beat, and was rounded ahead. Mourinho's just going into the Simo jibe there. I'm not sure. It looks as if he can make it stick, but I think the next minute or so is going to be the teller.
Okay, so certainly Marino accelerating out of that quite nicely. So pressure on Peter Gilmore there from the Portuguese, and we could see a pass from certainly from this angle.
Yeah, there it is. Mourinho's advancing well here. We'll try and tune into the umpire channel to see if we can hear any action from them.
All right, well we'll come back to that one. I might hold with it for a little bit. We've still got a split on the other race I can see with Hannah, so we'll just stay with this for a little bit. I'm not not sure we're going to see this locked out before the finish, so I think they're probably going to get all the way down, and most of the action will happen at the leeward mark. So I think we will go back to Hannah in the featured race with Ian Williams and Torvar Mirsky. And Hannah, we've seen a few tacks up there in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, I mean, not much change here actually. Ian staying on the left, Torvar staying on the right. In, not allowing too much separation. Oh, bad tack, jib got caught. These guys have to be really careful about these masts. There are lots of things for these jib sheets to catch on, but Mirsky still has the very slight advantage, but not by much.
All right, Mirsky holding the right and bow forward, I think, at most of these exchanges, and probably a little bit more after that slightly average tack there from Ian Williams' crew.
Yeah, you got it.
Hannah on board with Ian Williams now. Big hike from the guys on your boat as well. Not quite as young a team as Mirsky's guys, but not quite as old either as Peter Gilmore.
It's amazing the difference between these teams, Mark. Really, I've noticed, having been on board with Mirsky, they're a very vocal team. Also, Jesper Radic's team, very, very vocal. These guys, quiet, really, really quiet.
Done a lot of sailing together too, and core element of that team won a couple of world championships. So Mirsky with the advantage now. There's no question about that. Looking in really good shape as they come up to this top mark for the first time.
So again, just came together and I think Ian has just got back a little bit. Mirsky's still in the lead, but I think Ian has gained a little bit.
All right, Hannah, we're just going to leave that there because I think Mirsky has good control. We'll just have a quick look at the other match on the course of Peter Gilmore and Alvaro Marino, and I think they're around the leeward mark.
Yeah, Gilmore rounded ahead. He held Mourinho out past the ley line down to the leeward mark there. Dropped his kite back in his own time. So Gilmore fully in control of this one, and is now just crossing over Mourinho. Going to hold on to that powerful right hand side.
All right, so we'll go back up to the top where we're getting an approach to the windward mark here, and I think Mirsky's going to go around in front, but there's definitely a little chat we can have later about that move, that simultaneous jibe, and then being held out to the right of the leeward mark on the way down. All right, Mirsky rounding in comfortable shape. A good lead here for Torvar Mirsky. Nice.
So we're just going around them.
Yep.
Can you hear me, Mark?
Yes, I can hear you. Yep. Torvar Mirsky with a nice lead here. How big does that gap look to you, Hannah?
Yeah, I mean, Mirsky has extended a little bit. I'd say 1.5 boat lengths, I'd say. Sorry, I'm just trying not to get in the way of these guys as they get themselves sorting out their halyards.
All right, so again, we're going to have the situation that we've seen here repeat several times is that the simultaneous jibe happens. The boat to windward, which in this case would be Ian Williams, gets close to passing, but they can't quite break the overlap enough to get round the bow of the boat to leeward, which would be Mirsky after the jibe. So I think we may well see a repeat of that. Now, the chat we're looking for on your boat, Hannah, is whether they're going to hold when you with Williams, forgetting is what will be interesting in that case, because you're now with Williams and not Mirsky, is whether or not Mirsky holds after the jibe from Williams.
Yeah, these guys just really trying to press down. We've got some little waves out here now, and these guys just trying to press down, get every little advantage. Chat on now is whether they, if they jibe, whether they'll get down onto his air. Just trying to listen to what they're saying.
I don't think so. I think let's do that then. Ready? Which one? Jibe the main. Jibe the main. Okay.
Okay, so they're going to jibe the main, goose swing.
And maybe not the spinnaker. I think that's the
yeah,
deal,
that's
isn't it?
exactly
So we could go goose wing
about.
here, which is a really interesting move. We've seen these guys go a long way downwind. How will Mirsky respond to the goose wing?
Just trying to sail really, really, really deep down to this bottom mark.
You got jibe, huh? Oh,
So Mirsky's just jibed, full jibe there, coming back in, crossing in front, caught a nice wave there, massive acceleration from Mirsky.
Yeah.
Williams jibing their main back onto port jibe.
Okay, so they've gone for the separation on Williams' boat.
Yeah.
Mirsky's gone for speed and clean handling. Now, who will gain out of that at the leeward mark? The advantage Williams has now on your boat, Hannah, is that he's going to be on starboard when they come back together. but is he going to be close enough? Mirsky looks fast there, but again, we have a very
going for a jibe now on Williams's boat. Back onto starboard. Again, jib's going up.
Mirsky's boat handling look a little shaky when it gets tied again, Hannah. Not a good jibe from them there.
Mirsky just crossing on port in front, jibing at the mark, straight into a Kiwi drop. It's going to be a late drop for Ian Williams. Just getting out of the way. Oh, kite's still coming down around the mark. Kite's still up, tacking onto port. That will be a big gain for Mirsky. Sorry, I'm down in the cabin now, trying to get out these guys' way.
You're all right. You just stayed out of trouble there, Hannah. That was fantastic boat handling from Mirsky. He had the later jibe, lots of pressure on into the rounding, and just pulled that off beautifully. And as Williams tacks away at the mark, Mirsky is all over him. Fantastic handling from the Australian team there. All right, well, it looks like Mirsky has control of that one. We'll come away from it a bit and let Hannah get herself sorted out so she's got a view. Maybe we can come to one of these other races. I think we've got at least a couple more on the course. Okay, we have Litos and Jesper Radek. And Alexis Litos in red, I believe, Jesper Radek in yellow, and that picture is coming up now, and hopefully Craig can tell us what's going on.
Yeah, these Radek and Litos have been trading tacks all the way up the beat. Radek's been protecting the left, and they see he goes in for another lee bow tack. It doesn't look like he can quite cross from this angle, but we'll know pretty soon whether they're going to be able to do that. And Radek decides to go for the dip. Litos dials him down a little bit, so I think that could be a bit of a gain to Litos there. Yeah,
big call to try and get the right there from Radek. Went into the dial down, but certainly made the loss early. Although as Litos doesn't appear to be accelerating that well now, so this is going to be really interesting as they come back as Radek comes back to starboard near the top here. Hannah, pull us back to your match if it gets tight again. But for the moment, we're going to stick with this one, I think. Jesper Radek, it's not far to that windward mark. No, there it is on the left-hand side. So, Jesper Radek, can he get back onto starboard and make the right count? Or is Litos just going to lead around here? Very, very hard to tell where the ley line is from this position. Litos has to tack. Radek goes with him. If he's inside, he will go round ahead. And Litos is ahead. He's ahead enough to get around ahead. So, Alexis Litos ahead of Jesper Radek. Wow. I wouldn't have put money on that one coming into this event. Alexis Litos, he qualified as the wildcard entry at the invitation of the Yacht Club, French national champion, but I was told that he trains here in the winter, and we thought he might be pretty handy in these J80s, and there he is, putting Jesper Radek in his pocket behind him, former champion. All right, so that one, we'll let that one go down the course a little bit. I think there's a Simo jibe coming up there, but we've seen how that plays out, and we'll try and catch up with that one later down the track. We'll move back to our feature race, and hopefully Hannah's recovered from that bottom mark rounding on the Williams boat and can get her head out of the hatch and tell us what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say the conditions have really changed here as the afternoon has progressed. And I mean, this morning there wasn't much wind, and now the breeze has really picked up. The sea conditions is really quite choppy, a really nasty chop, which really slows these very light J80s down. And I'm actually quite wet standing here in my companionway, but Torvald Mirsky done a very good job of sailing well up this beat, this final beat of this race, and now leads Ian Williams boat time on by a good few boat lengths, I'd say.
All right, so Ian Williams in a bit of trouble, Jesper Radek in a bit of trouble, two men who I felt would be challenging for the title. Certainly into the final event, but there's a hell of a long way to go. This is only day 2 of the World Match Racing Tour 2011. And we are going here to Gilmore and Marino. Now I've lost track of this one. This is the first race, so this may well be a finish. And Gilmore won. Yep, so there we go. That's the result. Flight 13, match 1. Peter Gilmore beats Alvaro Marino and does his account considerable power of good.
Mirsky's now tacked onto port ley line. He's approaching the mark. We're still approaching on starboard. Mirsky's going to round a good 4 boat lengths ahead maybe. We're now tacking onto ley line as Mirsky's rounding the mark. A few boat lengths for us to cover before the spinnaker can go up, bow and goes forward. Getting ready. Meanwhile, Mirsky's kite is up and set. They did a lovely set. Ooh, Spinnaker's going up on Williams's boat. They really need a good set here. And it's got a twist. Not what they needed.
No, it looking very ragged on Williams' boat. This one looks like it's going to go with Mirsky.
There's definitely some tension on board.
Yeah, I bet they know they're in trouble here, these guys. They really might end up not making the round robin here.
Yeah.
Sorry, not making the quarterfinals, making it out of the qualifying session. Peter Gilmore's looking pretty shaky too. I think he's finished all his races, hasn't he, Craig?
Yeah, Gilmore's all done now, so he's on 5 points. So he's probably going to end up in a countback for a quarterfinal place. I'm just looking at his results, and from a look at it, the guys that he's been up against, it's going to be
uncomfortable and it's going to be tight. Gilmore's going to have to watch this from the shore, probably breathing down our necks in here, and see how this one plays out. But 5 will get you into a tiebreak. Sometimes it'll get you all the way through, but this is such a tight qualifying session that I don't think it will. All right, I think we can now go to Hansen and Passé. This was match 4 of flight 13. Passé in very good shape, Hansen in a whole world of trouble. But as we look at that picture, it looks to me like Bjorn Hansen might just have the edge. This would be a turnaround. Hansen really in deep trouble yesterday, 6-0. He can at best win 5 races if he wins all of them, which would again put him into what I suspect will be quite a complex tiebreak. And Hannah, you must be quite close to the finish now.
Yeah, we're really coming down. We've still got a little way to go, still got a few hundred metres to go, but Mirsky definitely still in the lead, still in the controlling position. Ian Williamson is cruising everything they can. Every little gust they're jibing on, just trying to get some separation and be an advantage down this course.
All right, Hannah, well, this will be the last flight of the day that we follow on the live coverage. We will, of course, have the wrap-up show, the Today Show, this evening at 7:30. We'll stick with this right till it ends, and then give you a view of the leaderboard before we go. And I'm just wondering whether Ian Williams will be keen to do an interview at the end of this one, Hannah, but we'll...
I'll do my best. Mirsky jibing back onto port, Williams jibing back onto starboard, coming back together now. Mirsky still has a very considerable advantage.
All right, so we'll follow this one down to the finish with you, Hannah, and then we'll break away and just watch these other two, both of which could have a big impact on the leaderboard, and then we'll come back to you for an interview.
Just about Mirsky is just passing the leeward mark now, which is just to windward of the finish line. So this is an absolute one in the bag for Mirsky. Nothing Williams can do now.
No, we'll just watch this follow through. I think we're going to see that flag. The man on the top deck of the committee boat there sorting the right one out, which is the yellow flag for Torvar Mirsky. And there it is. There's the yellow flag up on the committee boat. Torvar Mirsky beats Ian Williams. Wow, the double world champion is in a lot of trouble. We will look at the leaderboard at the end of this flight, but right now I think we're going to go to one of the other 2 matches we have on the course, which is Alexis Litos versus Jesper Radic, and or Bjorn Hansen and Bertrand Passé. I think we're going to try and find Alexis Litos and Jesper Radic, and I'm hoping Craig, when we get those pictures up there, can tell us what's going on in that race.
Yeah, we've got Litos in the red boat, and he's just got the edge there, so retaining the edge there. He rounded ahead of Radic. Radic couldn't put anything on him downwind, and now Litos has been protecting the left, and the trading tacks there. Let's see them come together again. So as they come together again, it looks like Litos is going to tack on Radic's lee bow there and force Radic back to the right. Looks to me like Litos is going to be able to cross when he wants, so let's just see them as they keep tacking, just trading tacks back there as they head towards the top mark. All
right, so Alexis Litos foot on throat of Jesper Radic right now, and Radic in a bunch of trouble as well. We'll have a look at the score. Craig will have a look at the scoreboard for us and work out how many wins Jesper Radic, what his scoreline will look like if he loses this one. We're going to try and catch up with the other race for you as well, which is Bjorn Hansen and Bertrand Passé. They were the last to start. They were match 4 in flight 13. So this will be, I think, the first run for those guys. And it looks like Hansen, the guy on zips for 6, is leading Passé, who I think has already got his 5 or 6 wins.
Yeah, Passé's on his 5 wins at the moment.
So he won't get the 6 here. So at the moment he's still in the tie break. And it could be an awful lot of boats on 5 winds here, the way this is playing out, but we've still got a long way to go. We've got 4 more flights after this one, and that looks like a mark rounding for Hansen with a very, very comfortable lead over Passé. So they go on to their final lap, their final beat, and then their final run. And we will now go back to the top mark. These guys have just gone round with Alexis Litos, I believe, still in front of Jesper Radek, Craig.
No, there's been a turnaround there. Radek's obviously clawed his way back in that tacking duel up to the windward mark, and has managed to get himself around the top mark just ahead of Litos. So we've had a change of lead there, and Radek's got what, 4 or 5 length lead there.
Absolutely crucial pass from Radek. That's the main man coming back in.
Guys in the studio, I'm going to interrupt you quickly because I'm sitting here with Ian Williams, and I'm just going to grab a quick chat with him and then let him.
Okay,
get
Hannah,
back
go ahead with
into
that.
It.
Yep.
Ian, just talk me through that race.
Yeah, we got a bit out of position on the pre-start, trying to fix the tiller extension, and so that was frustrating, and so we were a little bit behind. But all credit to Torvar, he was a little slicker than us as well around the course. Each time we got back into him, we then made a small boat handling error, which allowed him to get away and get comfortable again. So frustrating. We just need to tighten everything up really, and then we can hopefully win some races.
Not probably the start you would have wanted, having done so well in Calpe and Congressional Cup. What's your strategy this afternoon? Get yourself into the quarters.
I'll try and win some more races. I mean, that's simply it. Just sail a bit better.
Okay, Ian, thank you very much. Good luck.
All right, thanks very much, Hannah. And Craig's just having a look at the scoreline for Ian Williams. We'll try and bring you that in a moment. But right now, we are back with Alexis Litos in red and Jesper Radek in yellow. They're on the final run and approaching the finish for what is going to be a crucial point for Jesper Radek. So the concluding action here of flight 13. And Craig's just going to bring the, I think, Ian Williams scoreline here.
Yeah, Williams is now on 2 wins from and 5 losses with another 4
races to go.
So
yeah.
he's still in the hunt,
yep.
But he's got to pretty much win every match from here on in.
He could go to 6, and 6 is plenty. He really can't afford any more slip-ups though, and he's got to sail the informed Bertrand Passé next, then Phil Robertson, and Francesco Bruni, another man who's going well, and Bjorn Hansen. So we are now on the finish of Jesper Radek and Alexis Litos. Jesper Radek started from the starboard end. He has the yellow flag, and I think we can see it on the committee boat very, very shortly, which will confirm the win for Jesper Radek. Man on the top deck. We have the committee boat in frame there. Alexis Litos coming in from the left, but too little too late. No, we're not going to see the yellow flag. I think we can tell from the fact that Jesper Radek has relaxed there that he's probably past the finish line. Yeah, there's a win for for Jesper Radek. So that will help his scoreline. Craig is frantically scribbling beside me to work that one out. We will of course have a full leaderboard for you before we leave, and that leaves us just one race on the course, which is Bjorn Hansen and Bertrand Passé, and they are approaching the top mark.
Mark, I've just got Torvar here. Do you want me to have a quick chat with him about that last race with Ian?
Definitely, Hannah. Yes, we'll watch the pictures of Hansen while you're doing that, but what can Torvar tell us?
Hi again, Torvar. Another win for you against Ian. Talk me through it.
Yeah, great to get another win. We're just a bit closer to what we need. Ian's a tough opponent, and one of the tough guys on the tour. So happy with that. The guys did a great job. We've been hiking hard. Really physical with the boats and the tacks, and just making sure we're capitalising on every little opportunity we have. So got a little start advantage on him and protected the left side, which we wanted, which worked out. Yeah,
I mean, from a sort of meagre spectator that I am, your boat handling and everything like that, teamwork seems to be going really, really well. Are you pleased with that?
Yeah, I've got no excuses as a driver, so I just have to make sure I get the boat in the right position, and the guys seem to do a good job to get it around the course.
Okay. Great, good luck this afternoon.
Thank you.
All right, and the shot, thank you very much, Hannah, for a fantastic commentary from the water and interviews this afternoon. And we've got the guy on the right is the pink boat of Bjorn Hansen, about to put his first win on the board. He will be on 6-1. And Bertrand Passé, who's really should really be in the quarterfinals by now. I think still stuck on 5 wins. This would be the 6th that would guarantee him that slot. He escaped from qualifying into the business end of the regatta, the quarterfinals. Nice jive from Hansen. As I said, he had a shocking opening regatta last year in Germany, and then came back and made the semis, I think, in Korea. So perhaps this is going to be a similar situation for Hansen this year. Or perhaps he's just going to have his recovery on the second day here. 5 wins from his remaining matches would put him into what could be a very complicated tiebreak. But we'll have to see how that works out the rest of the day. We'll of course have all that for you at the end of the day in the Today Show, which will be 7:30. You'll be able to see that on WMRT.com. Hansen cruising down here in pink. All right, thanks very much for all your chat and comments on the blog and on Twitter and on WMRT TV at WMRT.com. Emails this afternoon. If you have got any feedback on our coverage, we'd be pleased to hear it, particularly if it's constructive. We'll see what we can do better for you tomorrow when we'll be back again at 1 o'clock, streaming live till 3. We will always follow 3 as an approximate time, because we will always follow through to the end of the flight that we're with. So we are watching that very flight right now. It's flight 13. Bjorn Hansen in the pink boat, about to take the win. We will see a blue flag as he crosses the line. And the committee boat appearing quite soon. That's a lured mark in orange. If we just hold this shot, hopefully we'll see that blue final flag to say that Bjorn Hansen has won this race and taken his first win. And Bertrand Passé stuck without the certainty of a quarterfinal slot yet, I believe. But we'll have the final leaderboard for you before we go. And as soon as we get this confirmation, I think that hopefully we'll hold that committee boat in the shot there. And there is the blue flag. That tells us that Bjorn Hansen has won his race against Bertrand Passé in Flight 13. So there is Flight 13 results. Peter Gilmore beats Alvaro Marino. And Torvar Mirsky beats Ian Williams. Jesper Radek beats Alexis Litos. And Bjorn Hansen, who we just saw there, finally beats Bertrand Passé. So hopefully, Rachel, I believe we have a leaderboard ready. Yeah.
So on the leaderboard we have Yao with 7 wins and 2 losses, Radek with 6 wins and 4 losses, Passé and Bruni with 5 wins and 3 losses, Gilmore and Mourinho with 5 wins and 5 losses, Robertson and Mirsky with 4 wins and 3 losses, Morvan with 3 wins and 4 losses, Litos with 3 wins and 5 losses, Williams with 2 wins and 5 losses, and Hansen with 0 wins and 6 losses.
All right, so I've been saying that Jesper Radek was in trouble, but actually he's been doing very nicely, clocking them off. Turned up there with 6-4 on the leaderboard, so my apologies to Jesper and his boys. Damien Yell is well through on 7-2. He's in the quarterfinals. Radek has made sure of his with 6-4. And Bertrand Passé, there's a whole stack of guys on 5 and then 2 more on 4. So that takes us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 guys down. So Mirsky at the moment is top 8. Robertson is top 8. Marino on 5. Gilmore, Bruni and Passé should all be safe. But there's a lot of sailing still to do. The guys with the most work to do are Pierre Morvan, Alexis Litos and Ian Williams. Now, really the standout story there is Ian Williams on 2 and 5. 7 matches sailed, 4 to go. If he wins all of them, he can hit 6, and 6 is normally enough to go through. So, plenty more action to come for you this afternoon. We will wrap all that up in the Today Show. We're going to stop here for today's live coverage. We'll be back with that show, analysis and comment on all the action at 7:30 Central European time, so watch out for that. It's been a fantastic day sailing. I'm sure we'll have plenty more top action for you tomorrow. But for now, I've been Mark Chisnell, And from Rachel Hobday, Craig Mitchell and Hannah White, it's goodbye for now.